Shawne Duperon is here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Bienvenida a Mujer Latina Today.
I'm so thrilled to be here.
Welcome to Mujer Latina Today and welcome to Cincinnati. What a pleasure. A six-time Emmy Award winner, 20 years experience. You have interviewed people in the arts, politicians throughout this year. What lesson you have learned throughout your career?
You know, probably the biggest is that focusing on my own personal growth. Because the more I grow, the more difference I can make. So I spend a lot of time reading extraordinary books, taking courses that stretch me, because I really believe the greater the risk, the greater the reward. And I've got to step out of my comfort zone if I'm going to take others out of theirs and play really big games. So probably the biggest thing that I've done is consistently taking these personal development courses and reading books.
Personal development courses, but also one of the things that you said in your website is about you're an expert in gossip.
I am.
And I'm thinking, gossip, who
el
wants
chisme. Estoy aprendiendo español, right? El chisme?
El
Yes.
chisme,
Yeah.
experta en chisme.
Yeah.
But the chisme is a word with a bad connotation.
It
How
is.
we can go beyond that
Yeah.
and see that it's a positive word.
Yeah, and that's what one of the things I'm going to be talking about tonight with NSHMBA and State Farm and Xavier University is we think mean and nasty when we think gossip, don't we? Like mean and nasty and, you know, gossiping about people. But I am actually getting a PhD in the topic. There's like 100 of us in the world, and research shows that mean, nasty, malicious gossip is only about 5 to 7%. It's a very small percentage. And actually, if you think about gossip, it says a lot about where a word comes from. And the word gossip comes from the word God-sib, meaning close to God. Like, who would have thought? Isn't that funny? And like in the 8th, 9th, 10th centuries, the doulas, the women delivering babies, they were called godsibs because they were spreading the precious news that a precious child of God was born. And if you think about it, gossip or word of mouth is the best advertising in the world. It's the best way to advertise. And we're in a really authentic marketing stage. So when you say, oh my gosh, read your magazine, or when I say, oh, go see that movie, if we're good friends, that's gossip, and we're going to really listen to each other. Don't use that plumber. He's going to take your money. You know, he's going to take your deposit and not deliver. That is how it's a social glue that holds us together.
You talk about becoming more marketable
Yes.
and eliminate the stereotypes.
Yeah.
We live in a world of stereotypes, especially for us as a Latina. We live in stereotypes, and it's so difficult to go beyond that. I don't say that it's impossible because I'm doing the best to eliminate that.
Yeah.
But how we can eliminate those stereotypes, because you know the actresses there, they succeed actually in Hollywood. They are stereotyping us as a Latina, you know, sexy Latina. And they're famous because they're stereotyping us.
Yeah, you know, there's one way that I personally, because we all have different passions, right? And my passion is how do you delete stereotypes, particularly in the media. That's my game. And so that's one of the reasons I come to organizations like NSHMBA, is to train people that come from a multicultural, diverse background how to generate within corporations or in their businesses, how to work with the media. Because I'm a media trainer. That's primarily what I do. I teach communication leadership, and I spend a lot of time as a media trainer. And most of the people I media train in corporate America are white males. Right? And so Latinas, Arab Americans, Asians, they all don't know in corporate America to go to their communication department and say, hey, I would like to learn these skills. See, because companies want to be seen as diverse. And how cool would it be if a Latina is going to the communication department, learning these skills, and starts representing the company in media as a smart, strong businesswoman? Not only is she growing as a in her career and professionally, she's also showing the world that her company is diverse rather than saying they're diverse. You know how a lot of companies just say they're diverse?
We feel like it's just a name.
Yes, and actually that's putting your money where your mouth is. When you actually are showing a diverse community that's being interviewed by the media when they're representing the company.
You know, you talk about diverse community, and it's so difficult to be diverse in a corporate America, because you should be in this way.
Yes.
And you need to dress this way, and need to be, in order to succeed, you have to be that way. So it's difficult to be you and marketable when you're marketable according to what is marketable the corporations tell you to do.
Yeah, you know, I really believe in universal principles, spiritual principles, never using the words God, Allah, Buddha, because we all have our different spiritual beliefs, but there's basic basic themes that we all run into, and I think the two most basic ones, well, actually there's three: love, fear, and forgiveness in business. And we want to play in the love realm. And then, when I say love, like, we love Apple. We love the Facebook page of Apple. And love includes fun, compassion, play, teamwork. And fear encompasses everything else. Not a lack of confidence, but more based in biology, our amygdala brain. Like, when we're frightened, we feel angry, or we procrastinate, or we get annoyed, or we get arrogant. And the game is to risk feeling frightened so you can stretch and grow, so you can keep going back to that love space. So it's a game. So just like I was talking about personal development, it's that game of taking risks so you can dance outside your comfort zone and play in the fear a little bit, so that you can actually grow outside of it and actually get better at dancing in the love place. Because when you break through something, like, let's say you go to your communication department, or let's say you ask for a raise, okay? Let's say you go ahead and ask for a raise. Even if, whatever the answer is, whether it's yes or no, you're different when you leave that conversation, because you stretched the balloon, you stretched your ability, whatever it is. And in negotiating, just the bottom line, the person who can be quiet the longest wins. Because a lot of times we're so uncomfortable in silence, so we'll take an offer rather than just sitting there and letting people be uncomfortable. And it's about being comfortable with being, it's about being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Social media. And the social media, especially, you won an award for innovation.
Yeah.
And we as a woman, we feel that we need to innovate. But social media is so competitive. It's so rich. It's so overwhelmed. How you can be successful in social media when you have to compete with so many information, with so much information. So how you can be unique, but also to understand how to be innovative, because you always get old, but everything is something new, and you have to be ahead of the time, especially when we're in social media.
Yeah, I really believe whatever you focus on expands. Whatever you focus on expands. A good example is exercise. Like you're struggling with your weight. I'm sure a lot of people listening have struggled with their weight at some point. Mm-hmm. And you notice when you start gaining weight is when you're really feeling like, oh my gosh, I've gained so much weight, and you're focusing on how much weight you've gained, rather than focusing on, I'm going to go work out, I'm going to go meet my girlfriend Maria, and we're going to go work out, and focusing there, you actually start to lose weight when you're focusing on what you want. And the same is true with social media. When you focus on competition, it's painful. You're never going to do it. When you focus on your authentic voice and really increasing your knowledge, because when you increase knowledge, you lower fear. Because the game is playing in that love realm, right?
You become fearless.
You do. Fierce. I love the word fierce.
Yeah.
And you start finding your authentic voice and watching people on social media that are doing so well that you're inspired to be with them. For me, Facebook is about love and inspiration. People want to escape for a few minutes, whether they're at work, whether they have their own business, whether at night or on the weekends. They want to escape a little bit. They want to be uplifted. The folks that are inspiring, that are saying authentic messaging, that's when you really start to get the engagement.
Yeah, you need to be unique, but also passionate, and I can see
and
passionate and authentic.
Yeah.
Today you're going to talk about communication leadership. Could you please share some of your highlights of tonight?
Absolutely. We're really going to play in fear tonight. It's highly interactive. We're going to actually dance in discomfort so we can get more comfortable with being uncomfortable. So we're going to do some activities. Because see, here's the game. When you can lower your own fear, a communication leader gets so good at lowering their own fear. It doesn't mean you squash it, just means that you can be with it. I'm going to use an odd word. Can I use an odd word?
Okay.
Fear is kind of like a fart. Okay? It's kind of like a fart. It only lasts for so long. It's uncomfortable for a couple of seconds or whatever. Some fear lasts longer than others, so some farts last longer than others. Mm-hmm. The game is, can you just simply stand the smell of discomfort? Maybe you're networking with someone. I know a lot of folks can relate to this when you're networking. Maybe you're talking to someone that you can't wait to get away from them. Has that ever happened to you? No. Yeah, it's happy. Yeah, it happens all the time. Might be 2 minutes of discomfort. And when you can notice that you're really uncomfortable, what happens is you relax, you start opening up, and you actually find out that this person who starts to relax with you is his mother's brother's best friend's sister, the person you've been trying to do business with for the last 10 years. But could never get access to it because your fear was so high. When you lower that fear, you actually get access. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing tonight, is really finding out how can you lower your own fear. And at an advanced conversation, when you lower your own fear, communication leaders lower the fear of others around them, and they attract business, they attract clients, they attract promotions. So tonight's about really attracting all the things we all really want.
You know, you every day, you show power of yourself, you have empowerment, and you have perseverance, but you have a power of connecting people with the leadership. And sometimes we don't know if we're leaders or not. Don't you think?
I do. And we all are leaders. And you know, it's funny, people say that to me. And here's the thing, if I'm really sad, I'd be sad.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm really angry, I'd be angry. You know, and I use the word be, like the game is letting all your emotions come, because confidence in that power and that fearlessness comes with allowing everything to come to you and notice when you have a feeling and letting it release.
And thank you for giving opportunity to reach out to the Hispanic Latino community in the Midwest and United States, because that's why we're trying to show the power of our voices, and you're supporting us today. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure to be here.